My name's Vince Little. I own a martial arts school, and I just had no time possible to fit in training and working out and diet and just trying to keep myself accountable to being fit. So I reached out to you guys.
Absolutely. And when you first joined, what would you say were the biggest challenges you were facing with like your whole fitness journey?
I think I was doing things I just feel like I just wasn't handling my time well at all. I feel like that I just had a different perception on what I needed to do to stay fit. And I think you guys really just kind of flipped it around for me and I realized that there was a lot of time that I did have that I didn't think I had, and a lot of ways to make things a little bit more efficient with my dieting and workouts.
Absolutely. I love that.
I mean, dude, a lot of it too is you're not new to this stuff. Like you've been working out for years. So it's like a thing of, business started doing a lot better. You've got things going on. All of a sudden, like those old approaches when you had a ton of time on your hands, they don't work like that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, like back when I was competing and doing my thing, it was just like I was used to hours on hours of training, and that's what I thought, like, okay, I need to train this much and I just need to do it all the time to stay in good shape. And then now I'm just like an hour a day, sometimes less, like in the gym, and it works. So
So how did these challenges affect your day-to-day life, like your energy, your confidence, maybe your work life?
honestly, like I could tell like I was it was just a lot more caffeine to get me through the day, to be honest. And now it's just, the moving around and like working out consistently again. I don't need as much, I'm more just naturally, awake and just productive through the day because I'm fit again. Whereas before I just felt like, I was just like, all right, how much caffeine can I take to like get me through these 20 plus hours? So yeah.
So what have you really tried in the past, and why was it not working for you long term?
Outside of working out three
Because
hours a day.
because you would get in really good shape and then get out of shape and then get in really good shape and then kind of repeat that process, you know?
I think it was just more, I didn't have the right systems in place. So it was like I would go really hard for like a spurt. Like when my business would have a slower season, like in the summertime, we get a little bit slower. I was like, all right, cool. Let me just lock in for a month. And I would just, hour plus of cardio every day, plus weights, and just like, starve myself and just like because I could, because I had the time. And then as soon as, I would get in better shape. And then as soon as that happened, it would hit busy season. Then I'm like, all right, well, there goes all my time and there goes, everything else. So I would just, I'd go up and then bang, I'd go right back down in a month. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's not a sustainable thing. Like when you're busy, you're not
yeah.
going to be doing half cardio. So
That's why locking in those systems, like you said, that allow you to keep doing everything regardless of, how many hours you have to put in at work, at home, whatever the case is.
Nice having a program because I just know I need to hit this, and that. And once I hit those things, I'm good.
Absolutely, yeah.
for sure.
A lot more measurable. Yeah.
So let's talk about the wins, dude. What results have you achieved so far?
I mean, I'm not fat anymore, so that's cool.
That's huge, right?
Yeah, it was cool, like just things, and also it helped me get back into doing more martial arts things that I loved. Like I felt, I could do it here and there, but I was like, it was weird because I'm 27, so like not old, but like I felt like I could let my students stereotype me as old now because I was like, it wasn't more so that I was getting older, it was more that I was like getting out of shape. So things that were simple to me at the time were just getting harder to do. And I was just like, I'm just getting old, I can't do this anymore. I was just out of shape. So like now, I dropped all that weight and like now I'm doing stuff that I was doing at like 19, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, you can still do that?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's not hard. I just guess I was out of shape, not old." So
Slow down now. We're about the same age, dude. We're still, yeah.
I mean,
Bro, like I know exactly what you mean because it's like I'll see guys our age and like a little bit older, like in their early 30s, and they're out of shape and they're talking about they're getting older. Meanwhile, when you're in your 30s, you should be in your prime.
yeah, yeah. And it's funny, like people are like, "Oh, when I was younger," like it's just like it wasn't really when you were younger. It was just you had more time, you know? And now that you're older, it's like, yeah, you don't have as much time, but it's just being more productive with the time you have. So that's where
Exactly.
I feel like this really like gives you a little bit more, you know, of a view of what you should be doing at this age or at the next level of your life.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Definitely.
Because that's the thing people don't understand. They think that you're not able to get the same results or look how you did when you were 19. But in reality, you can look better. It's just harder to do. You need to have things in place that work around your having actual responsibilities,
That work
essentially.
around real life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And I think a lot of times with us guys that get into it younger, in our teenage years, early 20s, we have the time in those years. So the way that we learn to get in shape, requires that time. So as we get older, now the way that we thought we understood this is how you get in shape, now we're in the real world. It doesn't work anymore,
Yeah, it's interesting because it's like we all have athletic backgrounds. Like we all played sports when we were younger. So it's like we're used to, 3 hour, 4 hour long training sessions, and that's just what you do. So it's like it's almost seems counterproductive to take a step back and do these hour-long workouts and think that like, how could this get me better results than, going just crazy balls to the wall.
Yeah. It's funny. I was talking to a friend about this. They were saying, you know, it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna work so hard and do this, and I'm gonna work so hard and do that, and all these, you know, and it's just like, yeah, of course you're gonna work hard. You know, it's like an expected thing at this point in your life. It's like, you know, back when you were younger, it was like, oh, I'm gonna work hard. It was like, oh, we're gonna work hard. But now it's like, no, you need to work smart. You know, I feel like that's the new work hard nowadays. It's like, all right, everyone works hard. You're gonna go like, why wouldn't you work hard at your life or your job or something you're doing at this age? But now it's like, all right, how am I gonna be smart with how I work? Because that makes the difference between like the people that do really get a lot out of things or out of this program, you know?
Do you feel, was there any specific moment in the program where you kind of realized like, wow, this is really working?
I would say like probably 2, 3 weeks in, you know, I would say like the first week I just had to get used to like following the system, you know, because like your body of, you know, the first week you're just, you know, you're used to doing like way more. In my opinion, I was doing way more before this is before I did. I was like, oh, okay, I just got to do this. Okay, cool. And then after I got through that week or two and I started kind of adjusting to how I should be eating and like the workouts and this and that, like and then I started not only feeling the results but like seeing the results too. So
What was the eating like for you? How do you feel like sticking to the diet? Was that kind of hard for you, or did it feel like it was you can maneuver it around your schedule?
yeah, it was easy. I mean, yeah, it was pretty easy just because it was honestly like I felt like the meals just like I had a lot to eat, you know? It wasn't like I was starving myself or anything like that. I had, you know, higher protein meals every single time I had to eat. So it was like I was full all day.
Like beyond the actual physical changes, what's like the main thing you've noticed as far as shifts in like maybe energy or mindset?
I think the other thing, I definitely think mindset energy. So, you know, from what I'm doing in the school and like growing with that, it was like I had this high level mindset and all of that. And then when I had, or before you guys, when I had that, it was almost like that was dragging me down. But I feel like now that that's elevated, things are kind of synced up now. So I feel like I'm more productive in general, just because all areas of life are kind of elevating to the same level and nothing's really holding me back, even though they're not related as well, which I guess, well, they can be with the energy, but like I just feel like everything's a little bit more synced up, so things are moving faster in everything I'm doing.
It's a great way to put it, man.
Absolutely. I mean, I always say, dude, the way you do one thing is how you're going to do everything.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
you could be totally on point in one aspect of your life, but if the other ones are dragging it down, even though you feel you're performing at the max level with that specific thing, you don't actually understand how much higher that could be if
Mhm.
everything else is where it should be as well, you know?
Exactly. Yep.
So if you could go back to the moment right before you started the program, what would you tell yourself going into
Just listen to them.
it?
Now, a follow-up question to that. What would you tell somebody that's on the fence about needing to get help or getting coaching? Or what would you tell them if they're not sure if this is for them or if they could do it?
I feel like the going back to the work smarter, not harder thing, it's like when you have somebody like a mentor, somebody that's already done it and done it for multiple people, that's your shortcut. It's not the whatever the supplement that they tell you to take every day, or the whatever, like the fad workout. It's just listen to the person that or people that have done it for multiple people already, because they have your cheat codes. It's like trying to understand a thing and you read a book for somebody that already figured out the thing. There you go. It's your cheat code to figuring it out simpler.
That's a great way to put it, man.
Outside of that, do you have any final thoughts or any other pieces of advice for somebody that's just looking to make a change?
I would just say stay consistent, make sure you communicate, which you guys are great with communicating, because I think a lot of people, they jump into a program like this or a mentor or something like that, and they're given a lot of stuff, and maybe sometimes they're afraid to ask questions, but I mean, you guys are really easy to communicate with, and sometimes even if it's a really simple thing that like you just need clarification on, it's good to have somebody at least to reinforce that, and you guys are really great with just getting back to me with something. So